Well, UNICEF says that nearly all of Gaza's 1.1 million children need mental health and psychosocial support amid the ongoing bombardment, the displacement and the dire living conditions. Children suffer from nightmares, anxiety and paralyzing fear due to airstrikes and the loss of family members. Many become aggressive, withdrawn or stop speaking. The United Nations estimates that at least 19,000 Palestinian children have been orphaned since the war began. Mental health experts caution that the scars inflicted on these young minds could persist for generations. Liz Allcock is the head of protection at Medical Aid for Palestinians. She's joining us now from Deir al-Balah in Gaza. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. As with so many things to do with Gaza, it's the scale of the problem that hits one. First of all, how can organisations like yours hope to be able to provide aid to the numbers of children who need it?
Good afternoon. It's a very good question. The answer is simple: with great difficulty. The catastrophe that has been inflicted upon children in Gaza for the last 15 months has really created an unparalleled and unprecedented mental health crisis amongst children of all ages. And what we can hope to achieve is not avoid the trauma that is being inflicted, but try to mitigate or minimise the impact of that trauma, the violence and the abuse that is being perpetrated against children to the extent possible.
I mentioned just before we started talking to they needed mental health support, but they also need psychosocial support. Can you describe to us what that means and how it affects children?
Well, psychosocial well-being is a key tenet of healthy childhood development, and it's entirely lacking at the moment due to the situation that is being faced by children here. What we're trying to do as humanitarians is provide a semblance of normality amidst the horror that children are experiencing on a daily basis. So that might be providing a space for recreational activity to relieve stress, to help children express their emotions in a healthy way, as well as the more sort of tailored and specialised support for those with really acute symptoms of distress, such as the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and other more chronic conditions through group therapy, individual therapy, and also specialised treatment, including the provision of psychotropic medication.
Obviously, at some point in the future, Gaza is going to have to start to rebuild, and Gazans are going to be a key element of that. The children of Gaza, of course, the young people of Gaza, are likely or expected to play a key role in that as well. But what are the concerns of the impact that the mental trauma that they've gone through is going to have on their ability to rebuild Gaza eventually?
You're absolutely right, and I think it's worth highlighting the fact that prior to the current conflict, more than half of children in Gaza were displaying signs of PTSD many years ago. So the baseline was already low, that children were already in a precarious situation. And that has now been compounded by the fear and the trauma that has been experienced as a result of the constant bombardment, the multiple repeated forced displacement, the loss of life, including entire families, and being witness to the unbearable horrors that the children here have been witness to. So we're pretty much starting from scratch very early on, but what we've been able to do with the help of the really amazing and excellent national mental health workforce here in Gaza is to try to rebuild a system that has really been totally decimated and destroyed, so that we're able to provide support so that children are able to deal with the scars that have been inflicted upon them. But I think it's important to remember that this is going to be transgenerational trauma, and that without early intervention it will have catastrophic implications for generations to come.
Liz Allcock is Head of Protection at Medical Aid for Palestinians. Ma'am, thank you very much indeed for being with us.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.